On October 1st, 1932, Babe Ruth walked to home plate before his at-bat. He pointed to the stands, calling his shot. The pitch came with a crack of a bat. The Babe hit the ball exactly where he was pointing. Now, what Babe Ruth and this wedding have in common, you're probably asking yourself right now. But actually, him and Ellisa have something in common. Because after one of their first deep conversations, Ellisa got out of her car, she walked into her house, and she called her best friend Miranda. And she said, "I think I'm supposed to marry Nate Yoder. When Nate commits himself to something, he isn't going to back out of it. He's in it for the clear nights, the hot nights, and the cold summer nights." You know, this relationship actually started on what I feel shows the amount of game that Nate Yoder has. Nate, he planned this entire scavenger hunt for Ellisa in Coeur d'Alene, in which Ellisa went through the town doing different tasks. And in her last task was to go to the water and to stare out on Lake Coeur d'Alene. Nate then came from behind her and shocked her by singing a cappella one of their favorite songs, Forever Like That. Guitar, actually. After he finished, through tears from both sides, he would ask her to be his girlfriend. And the rest brings us to this day. Unconventional is how Ellisa described their relationship, because they were always one step ahead of the flow of most traditional dating relationships. Ellisa and Nate both knew what they wanted, and through a few highs and a couple lows, they realized that each other was exactly what one another needed to perfectly complement each other. And when I asked both to describe the thing they were most excited about going into this marriage, they both spoke of the passion they gave each other to go out and to change the world. They dream big. They bring out the best in each other. They support each other's goals and ambitions, just like good spouses do for one another. Which brings us to today, the wedding of Nate Yoder and Ellisa Labor. The amazing thing about marriage is it was actually God's idea. We didn't just wake up one day and decide that we should be united with one person forever. It was how God designed the deepest human relationship to be. Paul, he was a church planner, and he wrote a letter to his friends called the Ephesians. And in this letter, Paul actually describes the greatest act of love, which was Jesus' act of love for us on the cross. Paul says that just as Jesus loved his church, that's us, that's you, and that's you. And he gave himself up for her. That's the same type of love that husbands are called to have towards their wife. And it's interesting that Paul used this relationship to describe Jesus' love. He could have used a father-son. He could have used a mother-daughter, but he chose the relationship between a husband and a wife. Paul said Jesus' death is a symbol of the ultimate love. And he says to husbands, I want you to show that same exact love to your wife. Marriage matters to God. This marriage will matter to God. And the way you love Ellisa and Nate, that matters to God. Paul also shares a word to the wife. He says that a wife is to submit to her husband. Now, before you start throwing blows, just hear me out for a second. Paul is not saying that you need to be dominated by your husband or to get walked on, but Paul is calling the wife to trust her husband each and every day of their life, to believe in him, to rely on him, just as we, the church, have to rely on Jesus for our own faith. Paul calls the wife to trust in her husband in all things. See, a perfect relationship is built on trust. It's everything. Our relationship with Jesus is perfected in the trust that we have for him. And this marriage is founded on the trust that you have for Nate and that Nate has for you. So, my final piece of the wedding advice in our journey together is if this is going to work the way God intended it to work, you have to trust always. Now at this time, Nate and Ellisa have prepared their own vows that they will share with each other. Nate, you're going to read first.
Today has been long awaited. I've waited for this day for almost 5 years, but it's been worth every single second, minute, and hour. People ask me, how can you know what you want as far as spending the rest of your life with someone at such a young age? I never knew how to answer that until I realized without the shadow of a doubt that I can't live life with anyone else now that I met you. And I would wait another eternity just to hold your hand. I never believed in a special one person for everyone until I met you. God has blessed me with this vision of us and our family, so every day I vow to chase after those goals with you and for you. I vow to you that I will never stray from pursuing your heart and with full love and intentionality. I vow that until death do us part, I will be faithful to you and only you. I vow that whenever we argue or disagree, I will always seek understanding and the pure intentions of your heart. I vow that no matter what imperfections or weaknesses either of us have, I will lead us in faith and the pursuit of God. I vow to fall in love with you more with every morning and never take any moment for granted. And I vow that I will lead our children in faith, love, and strength. I vow to always put your goals ahead of my own and get more excited until you accomplish them. I vow that no matter what comes our way, I will fight for us forever. I vow to cook for you whenever I can, since we both know that I'm better at it. I vow to take as many pictures as you want, even if the first 35 were okay. I vow to be your student, mentor, biggest fan, and leader, but above all else, I vow to create a forever relationship with you founded in God, intentional pursuit, and forever friendship that inspires others. I love you, Ellisa.
Nathan Yoder. I can't believe I'm standing here today on such a long-awaited moment. Looking back, I see our journey, and I'm so thankful for each and every step. My heart has loved you a very long time, and I can't wait to love you even longer now. I remember the exact moment I knew I was going to marry you. I was 17, which means you were 14. It's weird, I know. We sat in the car and talked about our futures, our dreams, and our future spouses in the heart of nothing but friendship. I left our hour-long conversation with a stillness in my heart, knowing one day I would be your wife. In that moment, I knew but didn't feel what that truly meant. So of course, I told only Miranda, as I felt I was crazy, and I didn't really like you, but I just knew. As years passed, our friendship grew, and a bond formed. You became my best friend first, and my best love next. The best part of our love is that we've always allowed it, the time to be where it was in that season of our lives. Through many twists and turns, heartache and waiting, triumph and victory, I'm proud to say we did it together. I look back at that day with full certainty, knowing that you, Nathan Yoder, are the man my heart was made to love. You have shown me the life and grace of God in the most tangible and real way I have ever encountered in my entire life. You have loved every part of me through my process as I have loved you. And in all of my chaos, there was always you. I stand here today promising you to love you, not just for who you are now, but for who you will become. I promise to welcome change, strive for growth, and pursue the Lord wholeheartedly so I can be the wife that you deserve. I promise to gross our kids out with how much we love each other. I promise to support you in all of your adventures, because there's a lot of them. I promise to try to be spontaneous. I promise to let you keep the room cold when we sleep. Sometimes. But over anything, I promise to pursue Jesus so he can always show me how to love you better than yesterday. I can't promise the journey will be easy, but I know that you are the teammate God has made for me. You, Nathan, will never fully know the way your love changed my life. But just know I can confidently say I would not be the woman standing here today if not for who you have grown me to be. You are my best friend, and I may never fully find the words to tell you all that you mean to me, but I will spend the rest of my life searching for them. I know I won't be perfect, but I promise today that in my imperfections, I will show up for you always. Love you bigger, love you better, and decide every day, over and over again, that you are so worth it. To the man I have prayed for, you are beyond my wildest dreams, and prove to me how much God loves me. I love you, Nathan. Forever will never be long enough for our love.
With this ring,
With this ring,
I pledge my life and commitment to you
I pledge my life and commitment to you
from now until forever.
from now until forever.
With this ring,
With this ring,
I pledge my life and commitment to you
I pledge my life and commitment to you
from now until forever.
from now until forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the power invested in me as a believer in Jesus Christ, I now pronounce you husband
2
and wife.
years this
Nathan, you
summer,
may kiss your bride.
I knew it from the day I saw we were gonna be together.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce for the very first time
That's
Mr. and
why
Mrs. Nathan Yoder.
I'm here to see her. She doesn't know I'm in Virginia, but I know she's my forever. So I'm asking for your blessing, and maybe just one lesson. He said 27 years, and here's my takeaway. It's not just picture perfect dancing in a white dress. It's not just rainy days when nothing stops the fighting. It's not just highs and lows and champagne toasts. I've come to know that love's not only the best days or the worst days. Love is the Tuesday.
Love you very much. So thanks for coming out and support.
Yeah,
And
love
also,
is the
thanks for my
Tuesday.
parents because they made this a total thing. So, my parents, seriously.
It's breakfast thrown together while she's sleeping in your high school sweater, and you've never seen anything better. It's the season 3 you're watching. A little bit of evening walking, sitting with your best
But
friend
life continues on
talking.
as she spins and she sways to whatever
it's
song
not just
plays.
picture
That's one of the parts of the lyrics of the
dancing
song.
in a
And I can't wait to
white
dance it with you
dress.
tonight.
It's not just rainy days when nothing stops
I love
the
you as a son-in-law.
fighting. It's not just highs and lows and champagne toasts. I've come to know that love's not only the best days or the worst days. Love is the Tuesdays. Yeah, love is the Tuesdays. No, it's not Hollywood, son, 'cause troubles will come. But it's the best decision you're ever gonna make. And you've got my blessing. But just hear this lesson, 27 years, and all I've gotta say is it's not just picture perfect dancing in a white dress. It's not just rainy days when nothing stops the fighting. It's not just highs and lows and champagne toasts. I've come to know that love's not only the best days or the worst days. Love is the Tuesday. Yeah, love is the Tuesdays. Oh, love is the Tuesday. life.